Hey everybody, it's your favorite friend and fiend, Kenneth Ramon. I'm back here again in the Cruiser Bruiser, back with you this time with another awesome-tacular movie review for you guys. And today, I will be reviewing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So, a little bit of backstory for you guys. As a kid growing up, I love the Indiana Jones movies, Temple of Doom being my favorite. So, part of me was like really stoked that they had made a new one, but also a part of me was like, well, Harrison Ford is pushing 80. How is this gonna work? All right, because I fell in love with Indiana Jones and the crazy action sequences and stunts Harrison Ford would do. So much badassery. How's it gonna hold up in his 80s? Can he still do it? Let's talk about it. So as you guys could imagine, a part of me, like 7-year-old me, was like super excited. There's a new Indiana Jones movie. And that's how my reaction was for Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I was 13 years old when that one came out, and I'm like, finally I get to see an Indiana Jones movie in theaters. And that movie has had its backlash. Some people love it, some people hate it. I've been like in the middle because I felt like the movie was full of adventure, and it has like the ending that some people either love or hate. I happen to be okay with it. The CGI in that movie is just a little bit too much for me. But speaking of CGI, let's talk about this movie. Okay, the 20 minutes into this movie, you get to see like a young Harrison Ford. I was like, whoa, okay, this is awesome, man. And like this badass train sequence, and like a part of me is just like, wow, they should just keep doing this. Maybe make the whole movie just CGI Harrison Ford, because they did a great job. Excuse me, maybe it's not CGI, maybe it's called de-aging, right? So anyways, basically, you get like a young version of him, and if you like look really closely, you could kind of tell that it's, that's not really his face. It's, fake compared to the other faces, and the other characters in the scene. But God, you guys, if you're not really like really paying attention, it looks totally legit. It looks like something that could have been filmed, in the 80s, right? So 20 minutes into this movie, I am pleasantly surprised. I'm absolutely hooked. Felt like I got my money's worth. But then after that, it's like it totally goes downhill from there. And when I say that this movie goes downhill fast, man, I'm talking like it just becomes so depressing, man. And like, being 7 years old and wanting to be Indiana Jones, like that's my hero right there, that's my guy. And then seeing like, it's like that old saying, how the mighty have fallen, all right? You get to see Dr. Jones, and, he's still teaching. After all these years, he's 80, he's still teaching his class, and the class could give a shit, all right? They don't even study for the test. They're just like, whatever, let's get this over with, old man. Meanwhile, if you, like, look back at Raiders of the Lost Ark, you had the kids in the class, flirting with him and whatnot. Nothing like that right now, man. Those days are over, man. So then I guess like it's taking a toll on him. The kids aren't engaged like they used to be. So he's like, okay, that's it, I'm retiring. And then as he says that, like, they have like the cheesiest party. It's like, okay, yeah, thank you for everything. I mean, this is Dr. Jones right here, man. This is the guy who's like discovered some crazy shit. Anyways, so they give him his little send-off, and then like his goddaughter pays him a visit. Or they meet at a bar or something rather, right? And then we come to find that it's been like 18 years since the two have spoken to each other. So shows how much Dr. Jones cares right there. Anyway, so she comes to him and says, hey, I hear about this Dial of Destiny that you discovered many years ago, all right, during the war, and I found that it could change the whole frame of history. So want to come along with me on an adventure and dig this thing up? And then Dr. Jones all like, yeah. So there's a part of me that's actually really supportive, because I'm a big fan of Harrison Ford, and I think it's really cool that he wants to do an Indiana Jones movie again, one last film to kind of end it all. And and it should be him. He should be the one to do it. If there's going to be anybody to make one last Indiana Jones film for the franchise, it should be him. But on the other hand, I feel like the guy's a great actor. He can make any movie that he wants to. Why at 80 years old he's going to try to, crack the whip again and, do these crazy stunts and whatnot, at 80. And that's just the thing. He doesn't. he doesn't. This goddaughter of his, forgive me, I forget the actress's name or the character's name, shows how, significant it is to me. But anyways, the dynamic is not there, okay? And it is up to her to carry on this movie. She has to carry this movie because Indiana Jones he's old. There's only so much that he can do, and there's only so much that Harrison Ford could do as an actor. So like, it's up to her to carry this movie, and the chemistry between the two just wasn't buying it. I mean, there was better chemistry with him and Shia LaBeouf in the last movie, and for obvious reasons, they're not going to have Shia LaBeouf back, and then they kind of like write off like a little thing in the story, which I can't spoil, but for the reason why he is not in this movie. And it's just ridiculous, man. And they don't even spend too much time building on the drama. Basically, you just have, Indiana Jones saying, oh, if I could turn back time, I would warn my son about this and that and this and that. And then on to the next scene, oh, my wife, oh, I wish things had gone better with her. Next scene, on to the next action sequence. So, there's very little time that it spends on the dramatic aspect of this movie, and I would have loved to see more of that. And I will say the ending is awesome, okay? It ends on an amazing note. All right, I teared up in the theater. A lot of people did. But then after that ending, the credits roll up, and I'm like, wait a minute, that was it? I spent 2 hours here, and I mean, that's a great ending, but what about everything in between, So ultimately, guys, movie was really depressing to me, and it's not going to come off that way to other people. There's going to be people that are just going to be like, whoa, yeah, an 80-year-old Indiana Jones, he's still doing it. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the people that I was watching the movie with in the theater were of that age, maybe a little bit younger, but you have senior citizens that are going to see Indiana Jones movies. Maybe it came out, in their heyday, and to them it's really cool to see, Harrison Ford still doing it. But, I don't know, man. To me as a kid, that action hero, all that adventure is just missing in this one. There's not enough adventure in it. A lot of the times I was even bored. I went to the bathroom 3 times during this movie, guys. When you have a really good movie, you hold that in till the very end. But for me, I was like, okay, this isn't going anywhere. Going to the bathroom, coming back, man. So, if this movie, if it's for you, all right, you love Harrison Ford, you're so proud of him for sticking it out and giving us what he has to offer, that's awesome, man. And a part of me feels that way too. I feel kind of bad giving this a bad review, but I feel like this movie shouldn't really exist. There's no reason for it to exist, Should have ended at The Last Crusade, Just like Back to the Future. You had Back to the Future Part 3. That was it. That's all they needed. They didn't need to make another one, And that was a really good decision because, the story was told. We didn't need to write another story just to, try to make a little bit of money here. And then just because of that, look, it's a box office flop. So what's the point? What was the point in even making this movie, Anyways, you guys, sorry. I'm rambling now. I'm ranting. I try not to get into these heated movie reviews. I debated making this, but, as a movie critic, I feel like I have to share my opinion. Hey guys, hope you're sticking in there. Hope you haven't signed off yet, but I just want to thank you all so much for watching my video. If you like what you see so far, please hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I really do appreciate all the support as always, guys. You guys freaking rock. Thank you so very much. Now let's get to my final thoughts on this movie now, shall we? Yeah, to sum it up, you guys, it's a movie. That's all I can say. It's a movie. Was it absolutely horrible? No. If you're a fan of Indiana Jones, I don't know, bring some tissues with you. You're going to have to watch it no matter what because, if you're a diehard Indiana Jones fan, you have to watch the final movie. Bring the tissues because the ending is a tearjerker. I absolutely love the ending, but also bring those tissues because some of the shit's depressing, man. And for me, guys, personally, I can't watch this movie again, dude. I'd rather just spend my time watching Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. And I also wanted to mention Temple of Doom, man. What really, really got me, intrigued in that Indiana Jones franchise was kind of like, the face melting, cutting out the hearts, the monkey brains. You don't get any of that here, man. It's super tame, but not only is it tame, it's super boring, man. There wasn't like any moments, except for like the first 20 minutes where it felt like an old school Indiana Jones movie. I was just so bored, man. There wasn't a moment where I was just out of my seat going, yeah, because that's just it, man. That's when I was a kid. It was that shot of adrenaline, watching these movies. You don't get that here, it really lacks. And if you're going to keep this franchise going, I mean, take some notes from Creed, and the Rocky franchise, They didn't have, Rocky Balboa, an 80-year-old Rocky Balboa there still boxing. No, man, they ended it at the 5th, or was it the 6th one, when, Sylvester Stallone was still in shape to do it. And then that was it. Then he became the trainer and was training, Adonis Creed, the next generation. And, kind of paving that way for the franchise to continue. That was a smart way to do it. And, and I know that this is going to be the last movie, but, I just feel like they could have ended on a high note. And I feel like even with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, a lot of people hate that movie. I feel like that was a higher note to end than with this one, in my opinion. Yeah, I'd much rather watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull than watch this again. At least Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was exciting, it was fun. It wasn't depressing, Indiana Jones, I mean, yeah, he was old, but, it wasn't like a thing throughout the movie. Throughout this movie, The Dial of Destiny, they keep bringing it up, making old jokes. And, and then when, you get the villains that are punching Indiana Jones, it kind of makes me sad. Like, would I want to watch someone do that to my grandpa? Things like that. And I don't want to make it seem like this is a bad movie just because he's old. I don't want it to sound like that. It is a good movie, but at the same time, Harrison Ford, he's a great actor. Do some other stuff, man. Do some movies that fit you, man. I'm just saying. That's just me. And now here we have Tom Cruise saying that he wants to follow in Harrison Ford's footsteps and make Mission Impossible movies till he's 80. How many freaking Mission Impossible movies are we gonna have, man? I'm just saying, dude. Ridiculous. Anyways, you guys, I didn't even give this movie a rating. It's not horrible. It's not horrible. I just don't see myself watching it again. It's kind of sad. I'd rather just watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, I'm sorry. I'm gonna give this movie a 6 out of 10. It's a bad movie. It's not gnarly. It's not horrible. It's not an F. It's a D, man. And, yeah. It made me kind of appreciate It made me kind of appreciate Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, actually. I think I'm going to put that in the player now and watch it. That's a much better movie, Anyways, you guys, that is my review. Sorry for ranting, but sometimes it's got to be done. Anyways, Kenneth Ramon, signing off. Bang.